Hello and welcome to a very special episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today we've got a very special guest, TNA's Harley Hudson, one of the most exciting rising stars in the game right now. Harley, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. Yay.
Also, at time recording, it's Bank Holiday Monday, so they may not celebrate it in America, but I hope you've had a good Easter.
And well, I sort of forgot that it was Easter until my mum put in our family WhatsApp a bunch of Easter messages. But yeah, I haven't bought no Easter eggs this year, so I've not had a single egg, which is probably a good thing. But yeah, no Easter egg, no Easter bunny for me, no Easter eggs for me. So yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin the conversation in this very special episode by talking about your current tag team partner, Myla Grace. So I like this team, and I think you two have great chemistry, a fun mix of styles. How do you feel about teaming with her so far in TNA?
Yeah, it's been great. I think obviously, we came in together. Our both of our debut at TNA was wrestling each other.
Yeah,
That finished in a draw, obviously. Um, so I think having somebody there that like obviously, America's great, but it's very different to the UK. I think it's great to have somebody by your side who understands how different it is and how important the opportunity is. And she's always been the type of person who's very, very on it, wants it. And yeah, it's great. It's great to be around that and, you know, be around people that have the same ideas of where they want to go and what they want to do than you have. Do you know what I mean? That's very important. So
now that you mentioned it, by the way, sort of the being Brits and coming to America, I've just got to ask you quickly, since moving to America, what's been the biggest culture shock that you've experienced so far?
um it's hard because maybe there's so much that is different that it's just like I don't even know. Like wouldn't even know where to begin. Um,
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, obviously because I'm from Liverpool, it's like very different. Um, maybe the biggest thing is not seeing family all the time. I'm quite close with my family, and I always have been very close with my mum and things like that. I think the biggest change is that maybe now I feel like an adult, like, and I'm 23, so I probably should have felt like an adult before now. But maybe now this is the first time because like obviously wrestling's hard and then it is a job, but you know, a lot of the times, in England, it's like I get to go and perform with all my friends
Yeah.
and get to wear these cool outfits. And then, before that, I worked in a gym, which was even more like, I'm getting paid to sort of mess about and tell people how to do stuff and whatever. So maybe now I feel like an adult, just a bit scary, but it's good. Maybe I needed this to grow up a bit, but yeah, probably that. And I'm like,
No, that's fair.
in an apartment in like the other side of the world. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's definitely crazy. I wouldn't have the balls to do that, what you've done. So I absolutely applaud you for that. I mean, I'm too lazy and I'm not as passionate, as you are, which is why it's evident. It's why you're there, and I'm lucky enough to speak to you right now. Um, but I'm gonna go back to team. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about culture difference as well. But there's a few talents that I want to mention that you've wrestled so far. What's it like stepping in the ring against the Elegance brand? They've got such a unique star and presence. They carry themselves like absolute superstars.
Yeah, because I think obviously we've had a couple of different sorts of matches with them. We've had sort of 6 woman tags. We've had just straight tags with Heather and Maggie. I also wrestled Maggie in singles
Yeah,
competition. I think that they're a great team, really good, working together sort of thing, which is great for. It's great to work with people like that when you're just becoming a tag team yourself, and it's good to learn from those people. I also think they're a class act having the Iceman, George with them. I think that just totally adds something hilarious to watch them. I find them hilarious.
yeah.
And seeing all the things that they've been getting up to lately. Yeah, they're a class act, and I feel very lucky to get to work with them, even if they are sometimes a pain. in my side. Yeah.
I was going to say, I wasn't going to expect you to be so complimentary of them, but you've got to respect them as well, sort of, as the great acts that they are in TNA.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I want to ask about wrestling Victoria Crawford and Mila Moore.
Yeah, I think so. Mila Moore's someone that I've, starting to become unlikely friends with, even if she doesn't want to admit that she is my friend. We train a lot together. I don't know if she's very happy about that, but yeah, because obviously coming here, you know people, but you don't really know people, and then it's not until you're training with people, it's a different sort of bond. You know what I mean? And obviously, um, then I know all the tricks for TNA when I get there. I know exactly what she's going to do, so I'm going to beat her every time. But and Victoria Crawford again is someone who I grew up watching. I was a big fan of Total Divas, and obviously through watching wrestling when I was a kid, she was someone I watched and looked up to. So it's great to, again, very surreal. But it's great to again work with people who've been in the industry for so long. I think is so important. And it really helps people like myself who are new to TV wrestling, really.
I'm glad you've said that. It actually follows up my next question about working with such a like wrestling veteran like Victoria. Have the coaches or producers in TNA changed the way that you approach matches now?
I think it's a totally different type of pressure
Mhm.
wrestling for TV compared to, I mean, I did a lot of different types of shows in the UK. I wasn't just down to one style, but I worked a lot for like camp shows, so that's performing to a lot of people who maybe casually watch wrestling, or even some people that have never been a fan of wrestling. I
Yeah.
think that does carry over great to TV because there's going to be a lot of people who are switching the TV on and have never seen me, may have never heard of TNA, and may have never or haven't watched wrestling since. I know a lot of people in England say, "Oh, wrestling like Big Daddy and the Giant Haystacks," and that's the people that they
All
know
the
because a lot of people
time.
haven't. Yeah, a lot of people have, and I'm like, yeah, the same thing, the exact same thing. But a lot of people might not have watched wrestling since then. So I think having the attitude of every time that I step through the curtain, no one knows me. I think that's good because then
Yeah.
you're always, trying to, present your full self and your full personality as well. I think you need to make sure um, that people see that because often a lot of the time that's the really important part about being on the TV. They want to like connect with you. So I've got to show it off. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair. That's a good way of putting it as well. And the fact that you mentioned the Big Daddy thing and Giant Haystacks, honestly, if you're a certain generation, you get that all the time. Oh, I remember them. I watched them on TV, and it's such a Brit thing, isn't it? It's just
Yeah,
great. I love it.
yeah, definitely.
Um, what I do want to know is what are your biggest goals in TNA over the next year?
I think I'd like to just keep doing what I'm doing in terms of, if I'm getting put in a situation or getting an opportunity, like I just do my best with it. I think that's all you can hope to do. Obviously, like I'd love to win some belts. I'd love to, be wrestling as much as I can. But I just like to think that if I'm working hard and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then it'll happen one way or another, and it'll happen in the way it's supposed to happen and at the time it's supposed to happen. And I think anytime there's a redirection in what you're doing, it's like supposed to go that way. If that makes sense, or at least that's
Yeah.
what I tell myself. I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's fair. What I do also want to ask is TNA has a really passionate fan base in the UK. Why do you think the product connects so well with British wrestling fans?
I think the possibly the style of a lot of the matches. It's there's action, 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 as people would say. There's things always happen, and it's very exciting. I think that lends itself well to a British audience, especially people who come and watch independent wrestling shows and see the sort of styles of matches that people put on there. Um, like it was great to see even during the time of the gut check and when they came over for the UK tour, how well that was supported and how, people loved the shows when they came over. And obviously there's quite a lot of like UK talent who get brought over to TNA, and there's no coincidence in that. I think that there's great wrestlers in the UK. I think some of the best wrestlers in the world. Not saying myself, but a lot of UK wrestlers are fabulous. So I think it lends hand in hand, really. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And I'm not saying that to be biased as well as a British wrestling fan, but there's so much talent here. And the fact that you've got you and Leon Slater representing the UK, and there's so much talent that I think it's going to make its way eventually to TNA in the
Oh,
UK scene.
definitely. Like I was saying earlier, I think if you literally, out of the girls, if you literally looked at one of the, like say Eve or one of the all women's wrestling shows in the UK, you could literally look through the cards and pick any one of those girls that could move over and be on and fit in perfectly. Do you know what I mean? Like you know, it's at the point where it's like, who do you pick? Not in a way of like, there's no one to pick. Like who out of this many people could even be on? Do you know what I mean? It's great. It's really cool.
One last question. If you had to describe TNA in one sentence, how would you describe TNA? What does it mean to you?
Hmm. I think, well, this is going to be a really bad sentence, but I'm not great with sentences anyway when I'm typing. Um, I think TNA is somewhere that gives people opportunities. I feel like it always has been. Um, but I'm not just saying this about myself, I mean like other people as well, but like giving people opportunities who really deserve it and giving them like a platform to become a star instead of just like, the people who are already stars, the people who like they've always done well at like looking at, the other places where wrestling is, or the other, especially the UK or other countries, or different parts of America, like finding people and giving them a platform. I think and then that makes for the best wrestling, because it's, there's that mix of um you know seasoned vets or people who've been on TV for a long time, and then the likes of me who's never been on TV before, and then those matches coming together. So it's not anything you could probably see anywhere else, really. So yeah, long sentence.
Don't worry, I'll put a lot of comments in there.
Well, if you put
But
emojis in it, then that's what I normally do.
thumbs up, smiley face.
Yeah.
But Harley, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
If the listeners want to give you a follow on social media, where can they keep you? Sorry, where can they find you on social media?
I think on all of them, I'm Harley Hudson with a kiss on the end. Um, to just search me up. Yeah, I'm on all of them.
Awesome. Give her
Yeah.
a follow. Make sure to check out TNA Rebellion pay-per-view this Saturday at Wallstein Centre. It's on the campus of Cleveland State University. As always, fans in the USA can watch Thursday Night Impact in the new home of the AMC and AMC Plus. Impact also airs on Sportsnet 360 in Canada and TNA Plus worldwide. Great app, by the way, honestly. Highly recommend it. I hope all my listeners have had a great bank holiday, Easter, whatever you celebrated. But for now, everyone, take care, like the video, subscribe. Peace.